Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to be going over The Flash Season 7, Episode 6. Going to be reviewing it, breaking it down, all that. If you have not seen the episode, click off the video. Spoilers, obviously. If you haven't seen any of Season 7, click off the video. It spoilers pretty much the whole season, as every episode for the season normally is. So if you have not seen Season 7, or this episode, or the last episode, or episode before that, or the episode before that, click off. If you do enjoy the video, hit the like button down below, share, subscribe, whatever. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and thank you. Alright, so the episode started off with time basically changing. It was, I think, 24 hours in the future at the point in time in the beginning of the episode. Because we had a flash forward and the flashback. 24 hours ahead with basically the whole city going through this time mess up or whatever, with dinosaurs there, with literally blood dropping from the T-Rex, which we saw, about to kill a bunch of people. Honestly, probably did kill a couple people, I wouldn't be surprised. So that started off the episode, and then went back to the present, which they said was 24 hours earlier. Nora felt the other Speed Forces when she was reborn. Which we do know now that Nora did die, which we knew she was dying. I just don't think we actually knew she was dead, but, you know, now we know. And she was reborn when Barry got his speed back the second time by Iris. And I think she said she felt love and hope and all whatever, which was what Iris and Barry's Speed Force was about when they created it. So, yeah, and she said she could feel the other Speed Forces when they were created, which is more than likely why Frenza and Psyche, which we know, well, we've known for a long time, but Cisco mentioned it at the end of the episode, the Still Force, the Sage Force, the Strength Force, and obviously the Speed Force. Speed Force being Nora, Still Force being Dion, which we got in this episode, Sage Force being Psyche, and the Strength Force obviously being Frenza. Which I'm happy Cisco mentioned that, and it's not just in the comics, but now we know. Nora's worried about Barry. She doesn't, think he's actually gonna be okay, or he doesn't know, in the end, once he defeats all these, what's gonna happen. She doesn't know that, so she's afraid. Cisco and Chester ended up going back to 1998. We knew that from the promo and the promo photos. But they developed a device to scan for any signs of Psyche or Frenza attacking, but it could not scan for the other forces at the current point in time. Like the Still Force, they didn't know that force even existed till this episode, so it didn't really scan for it precisely. Like, it could scan for additional forces, but it was really only predicting the Sage and Still Force. Or not Still Force, sorry, the Strength and Sage Force. Turtle 2.0 was mentioned, like with the time crap. It was mentioned that Turtle could have done it. Obviously, they figured out it wasn't. It was Dion who was the Still Force. Every time they get to remember the future, it resets. The best way I could think of it, it was like that one season 8 episode, I think it was 807, where, not Barry, where, no, it was 806, where Oliver and Laurel got stuck in a time loop until the monitor, until they did what the monitor wanted them to do or learn. It was kind of like that. That's probably the best way I could tie it into something. And when it reset, Cisco, he forgot who he was. He thought it was 7. He forgot everything in the present. All he remembered was him being 7 years old. And then Chester ends up getting Cisco back, talk to him about the future and everything. And we learned from Iris a little bit after that, when she was talking to Nora, connecting connections she knew in the description she would be, that Barry's still terrified of the night that his mom died. Which he doesn't even talk about to anyone, not even Iris. which I think if you weren't surprised by that, what the hell's wrong with you? Because at least me, I thought that he talked to Iris about it, at least multiple times before. But we know now he hasn't. He hasn't talked to anyone about it. He hasn't talked to Iris about it. And seeing the Speed Force literally being his mom, his dead mom, who we saw die multiple times throughout the Flash. When he was a kid, when he was the Flash, when he ran back those 2 times, when he ran back during Flashpoint to end Flashpoint for the 3rd time, and more than likely in the future, which is going to be inevitable by going to the Reverse Flash, more likely vanishing and leading to everything that happens in the future, with him never coming back. That probably is what gaining on Barry, and Nora took that as, oh, he doesn't like this form that she's in, she should disappear as lightning, which, no idea how that works. But, yeah. Chester's dad was in 1998, where Chester and Cisco were, and Chester didn't want help from his dad. We learned that was because he wasn't really around. He put work out of his family, and he ended up dying in a car accident, I think they said, when he was a kid. It was a couple years after 1998. All of Team Flash was affected by the Still Force, except for Nora. Now, I'm pretty sure that's because of the Speed Force in Nora. Obviously, the Speed Force moves faster than anything on the face of the Earth, or in time or history, so it wouldn't make sense for the Speed Force not to be affected by this time change by the Still Force. At least that's my common sense of the Arrowverse and Speed Force crap to me. Probably why Barry and Nora weren't affected, which I'm assuming Barry wasn't, because when Barry came out, he was fine. But then again, so was everyone else. So we didn't really see Barry during that phase. No pun intended, but we know Nora wasn't affected by it, which, again, I'm assuming the Speed Force helped with that. Chester talks Dion down, kind of. Dion was going to change the whole timeline so it would be his new pass and change everything. But Chester ended up talking Dion down to not change the pass, which was good. And it wasn't Chester's intention to do this, but then Dion realized he needs to change the future. He can change it however he wants. He can make his own future, and also everyone else's. So we're more likely going to be something screwed up next episode, or the week after, or obviously 3 weeks after, because do you remember after 707, Fox is going on a 3-week break, and they'll be back more likely because of COVID. They need to catch up on episodes. So, yeah. Cisco came up with the 4 names, as I already said: Still Force, Sage Force, Strength, and those are the 3 that he came up with. Obviously, Speed Force, we already know that. Iris asked Nora to stay with Barry and Iris in the loft for that night at the end of the episode. And Barry's obviously, like you're seeing right there, he isn't really excited about it, and he's also not really happy about it. Probably because the Speed Force is the thing that gives him his power. He probably doesn't want to be around it 24/7. Because it's a part of him already. He's been a part of him for the past 7+ years. So it's not a case of always annoyed by it. It's a case of it's his mom, or it looks like it. His dead mom, who I already mentioned, died multiple times that Barry saw and is undoubtedly going to see in the future. And it's the thing that controls his power. And he said that in the promo for 707. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's 20 seconds. But yeah, it's probably, we're going to learn more next week. I'm assuming it's because of that. Joe ended up telling Frost that, I'm forgetting her name, that showed up to Joe's, office last week, or last episode in 706, told Frost that they're going to be hunting Killer Frost for what she did. And obviously, Joe and Team Flash know that she's not that person, but the rest of the city doesn't know that. And even though Argus knows that, CCPD really doesn't, besides Joe. And Joe can't influence everyone in the building, or even, I'm assuming it's the mayor or the congresswoman, whatever, that she has changed. They can't really just bring her in and talk to her about that. But Frost said she's going to try to handle it on herself. If they do come after her, she's going to fight back. Which, yeah, that's going to end up great. But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. If I had to rate it, it'd probably be a 7. It wasn't the best, but it also wasn't the worst this season. So yeah. I might have another Flash video this week going over the promo. I don't know. We'll see. Just depends what I gotta do this week. I'm trying to upload as much as I can. I can't promise anything. Because I am doing college at the same time doing YouTube, which really isn't that easy. But I do take days off from YouTube, days off from college to do one or the other. Or I do both some days, which really doesn't help anything. But I am trying to do more YouTube than I have been. So hopefully that'll keep up. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, share it, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, have a good night, wear a mask, stay safe. And thanks for watching. See you guys.